right, thanks Cameron. So we're going to get the day started with healthcare. We'll begin with a short presentation looking at the transformation of healthcare, how data and AI are affecting medicine. So obviously a lot of people are thinking about this and where the use of sort of exogenous data from wearables, biometrics, and other sensors can affect healthcare. This is a quote from Ginny Rometty, IBM CEO, and with all that data, you have a whole other world that can mean health and wellness for the individual. So how do we think about sort of this path to individualized medicine? I think there's three ways to break that down in terms of a framework. One is sort of creating and structuring that data, whether it's from electronic health records or wearables and gene sequencing. Next would be analyzing that data, and now with AI-powered drug discovery, patient analysis, genomics, and then actually getting to actionable care with gene therapy, personalized drugs, and treatments. So we'll start with creating and structuring data. Obviously, there's been a massive wave of data in healthcare now. Some of them here, telemedicine, payments, scheduling, wearables. But we're moving towards more personalized data on the way. So whether that's ingestibles or food data, portable scans, and blood monitoring, the data is just going to continue to affect sort of this realm. And when we think about analyzing it and where that's going, there's been a lot of startups who are looking to work on sort of, bring artificial intelligence to healthcare. When we think about sort of startup investments and sort of formation across different verticals, healthcare has been definitely probably the most prominent in terms of where we've seen a lot of activity in the last couple of years. And the broader interest in this area spiked when we think about who this affects, whether it's retail drug corporations or sort of big pharma, insurance companies, and others. This is a big area that has massive implications, and this is just looking at the media mentions over time for the term healthcare with artificial intelligence. When we think about AI-driven medicine, there's a few different areas that this affects: diagnostics, drug discovery, applied genomics, automated care and triaging. And we'll hear from Freenome in the genomic space here in the panel shortly. When we look at diagnosis, an example would be Google, for example, using deep learning for detection of diabetic eye disease. So using data and images to scalably sort of diagnose patients and offer answers. Drug discovery, companies like Atomwise are finding better ways to sort of find cures to diseases and reduce sort of that trial and error waste. Applied genomics, a number of startups are now working in this area, whether it's companies like 23andMe and Counsel or Freenome and Color Genomics. And a number of companies are now trying to understand the relationships between genes and our health so we can be more proactive about all of this. And automated care and triaging, this is a screenshot from a company called Babylon Health, which is sort of using this interface to help guide patrons to the appropriate place for care. So when we get to that level of actionable care, I think what can we do with sort of the highly specific data and moving towards more highly specific care solutions? So obviously, one application would be CRISPR and being able to use specific gene codes to make edits as necessary. Also, creating highly personalized drug treatments. Last year, for example, the FDA approved 3D printed drug in the U.S. And can we look at eventually creating sort of robo-doctors with this combination of highly granular data and biomarker detection? Can we fully automate this and start thinking about automating diagnosis and having sort of this, moving towards the world of robo-doctors? So some of the questions that the panel will be addressing going forward. Safety, obviously, is one major concern. You think about some of the major health breaches over the last few years, whether at Anthem or some of the other sort of large health organizations, definitely a major concern that a lot of people are thinking about as we sort of move towards all of this. How will we all adapt to sort of the increased life expectancy? When you think about life expectancy today in 2016 at around 79 years old, what will that look like 50 or 100 years from now as we move towards some of these changes? And lastly, are we moving, some might say, are we moving a little too fast given some of the rapid advances towards moving towards individualized medicine? So with that, I'm going to welcome up the panel. And we have Clarify as well as Freenome and also Jack Young. So I'm going to turn it back over to Cameron to introduce the panel. Thanks.